Okay, I'm just gonna go through some problems since I am not there today. So for this one, if you're asked to divide and there is a number right here, you have to use long division. You cannot use synthetic division. And the steps to long division are important. These are something that I would make sure you have written down somewhere. So the first step here is to obviously write it out like a long division problem. So if we have 5r minus 5 and we're dividing 5r cubed plus 10r squared minus 45r plus 26. So the first step, and I'll do this in colors. So the first step is to divide, and you always divide first with first. And I would write this out to the side so that you don't get like all jumbled in here. So we can divide this with this right here. So if we do 5r cubed divided by 5r, well, the 5's cancel and I'm just left with an r squared. So I'm going to put that up on top of wherever the r squared was. The second step here is to multiply. And you just multiply to whatever is on the outside. So multiply to the outside terms. So if there's 3 terms out there, you multiply to all 3. In this case, there's only 2, so we're going to multiply to these 2 terms. So r squared times 5r is 5r cubed. And then r squared times negative 5 is negative 5r squared. Then we subtract. And when you subtract, one way to subtract is to just flip the signs and add. So every time you subtract, change the signs. So this one becomes a negative, this one becomes a positive. These first ones here should always cancel out. And then 10r squared plus 5r squared is 15r squared. Okay. And then you bring down the next term. So we're going to bring this down, and that's going to be minus 45r. And then you start this whole process over again. So we just repeat the whole thing. This really long division, you're just repeating yourselves a bunch of times. So then we're going to go back up to this first step of dividing first with first. So we're going to take this 15r squared and divide it by 5r. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and then r squared divided by r is just r. So you get plus 3r. And then you multiply to the outside term. So it's going to multiply here, and it's going to multiply here. So 3r times 5r is 15r squared. 3r times negative 5 is negative 15r. Subtract, change the signs. That becomes a negative, that becomes a positive. These cancel, they should always cancel. And then negative 45r plus 15r is negative 30r. And then we're going to bring down that last term. And you just keep repeating this until you have nothing left to bring down. So this is the last time we're going to have to repeat this. Now we're going to divide again, first with first. So negative 30r divided by 5r is, well, the r's cancel. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So we're left with a negative 6. And then we multiply. So we multiply to these outside terms. Negative 6 times 5r is negative 30r. Negative 6 times negative 5 is positive 30. Subtract, change the signs. That becomes a plus, that becomes a minus. These cancel. 26 minus 30 is negative 4. Whatever we're left with here, there's nothing left to bring down, so this is our remainder. And we can always just write the remainder over what we were dividing by. So this will be, you can either write it as minus 4 over 5r minus 5. Or you could write it as, here, I'll write it down here, r squared plus 3r minus 6, and you could do plus negative 4 over 5r minus 5. Both of these answers, whoa, that was weird. Both of these answers are completely right. They say the same thing. Okay? So there will definitely be a problem like that. You will have to write these steps. Okay, so let's do a synthetic division now. So this time, we are dividing by something that just has an x here. When there's just an x there, that's awesome. That means that we can use synthetic division. Synthetic division. Okay, and to set synthetic division up, we start with this. The coefficients go inside, so like 7, negative 59, 29, and negative 50. If there was a missing exponent, so say that we were dividing by like 7x to the 4th minus 59x squared plus 29x minus 50. Notice how there wasn't an x cubed there? Well, if you're missing something, you have to put in a 0. This case, we're not missing anything, but if we were, this would have been like 7, 0, negative 59, 29, and negative 50. Okay. But for this one, we weren't missing anything, so I'm just going to erase this. And then to figure out what goes on the outside, we're going to take what we were dividing by. So this x minus 8, and I'm going to set it equal to 0. And I get x equals positive 8. So that positive 8 is what goes on the outside. You have to flip that sign. And then for synthetic division, the steps, I guess, if we want to talk about steps, is you always bring down the first term. So we're going to start by just dropping this 7 down. And then you multiply to the outside. So I'm going to multiply here. 7 times 8 is 56. And then you add. So negative 59 plus 56 is negative 3. And then these two steps right here, they repeat over and over until we are done with this. So really all you're doing here is you're multiplying and you're adding, which are things you learn how to do in elementary school. So negative 3 times 8, is negative 24. 29 minus 24 is 5. 5 times 8 is 40. And then negative 50 plus 40 is negative 10. Now, this is to the third power. So if you take something to the third power and you divide by just an x, so like say if you take x cubed divided by x, you're left with an x squared. That x squared is what this is right here. So that's going to be 7x squared, and then it just counts down. So this will be 3x. This is our constant, so I'm going to put a plus there. And then this is our remainder, and we just put it over what we divided by. So this would be our answer to this problem. And sometimes it helps not to just write it in there. We can just like rewrite it. So it'd be 7x squared minus 3x plus 5. You can either do minus 10 over x minus 8. Or you could write this as 7x squared minus 3x plus 5 plus negative 10 over x minus 8. They're both the same thing, and both are correct. Okay, so that's the long and synthetic division. Make sure you know how to do both of those. Make sure you know, like, how to explain how to do them also. Okay, let's go to function operations. So there's a couple different ones that we're going to be going over. So function operations. If we're given these two functions here, Well, you're going to be asked to do like f plus g of t, f minus g of t, f times g of t, f divided by g of t, f of g of t. And these could all be reversed also. Like I could ask like g minus f. Or let's do g of f of t. Okay, so let's start with the f plus g of t. Well, we can just rewrite this as f of t plus g of t. I don't know why this is like struggling to write. So f of t is t squared minus 3t. And g of t is 3t minus 4. So if we add those, that's just going to be t squared, negative 3t, and positive 3t cancel minus 4. So f plus g of t would be t squared minus 4. If we're subtracting them, so if we have f minus g of t, that's the same as f of t minus g of t, which is t squared minus 3t minus 3t minus 4. So we're going to start by, whenever there is this subtraction sign there, you always have to distribute it. So this becomes a negative 3t and a positive 4. Then we can combine terms, so t squared, negative 3t is negative 6t, and then plus 4. So this would equal t squared minus 6t plus 4. Okay. For multiplying them, so there's a big difference between just a dot and this open circle here. So if it's just a dot, it's multiplication. This is multiplication. If it's an open circle, this is composition. Okay, this means you're plugging it into itself, and multiplication, you're just multiplying them. Okay, you need to know the difference between those. So if we have f times g of t, whoops, that's going to be f of t times g of t, which f of t is t squared minus 3t, and g of t is 3t minus 4. And you can either use distribution, or I'm just going to use the box here. So we have t squared minus 3t and 3t minus 4. So this is 3t cubed, negative 9t squared, negative 4t squared, and 12t. So if we combine those, that's 3t cubed minus 13t squared plus 12. Sorry. Okay, not too bad. If you're dividing, so if we have f divided by g of t, well, that's the same as f of t divided by g of t. These ones are actually super easy. So f of t is t squared minus 3t. G of t is 3t minus 4. That's all you need to do. Okay, don't actually divide it. You could just leave it right there. Okay, so this is t squared minus 3t over 3t minus 4. Okay, these composition ones, so these are the ones that give us the most trouble most of the time. Let me erase all this crap. So if we have f of g of t, I always rewrite this, and I would suggest that you guys rewrite it also. So this g of t gets plugged into the f function. So this is going to be f of g of t, which we know what g of t is. It's this 3t minus 4. So this would be f of 3t minus 4. So then wherever there's a t in the f function, I'm going to plug in the 3t minus 4. So this is going to be 3t minus 4 squared minus 3 times 3t minus 4. Which that 3t minus 4 squared, I'm just going to use the box for that. Remember, this means we have it twice. So this is the same as like 3t minus 4 and 3t minus 4. So this is 9t squared minus 12t minus 12t plus 16. So this will be 9t squared minus 24t plus 16. If I distribute this negative 3 in, that's negative 9t plus 12. Which we can combine all that now. So that's 9t squared minus 33t plus 28. So you always plug in whatever the second function is. So like in this case, it was a g. We're going to do it now, but the opposite way. Okay, so let's do it this way now. Let me erase all this. So if we do g of f of t, we're now plugging it in the opposite way. So if we have g of f of t, that means I'm taking f of t and I'm plugging it into g. So this will be g of f of t. Well, f of t is t squared minus 3t, so this is g of t squared minus 3t. So this is going to be 3t squared minus 3t minus 4. Distribute this in, so this will be 3t squared minus 9t minus 4. There's nothing to combine there, so that's going to be our final answer. Okay. Sorry I haven't been there. I am waiting for a COVID test so that I don't come in and infect everyone. So for the test, it's going to open today. Open, what would today be? October 21st at 1 p.m. And it closes tomorrow, so October 22nd at 11:59. So that gives you like a day and a half to take this. It is a timed test, so just make sure as soon as you open it, you finish it, you can't come back to it. Okay, and make sure to upload your scratch work or you are not getting credit for it. Reach out to me if you have questions. Bye.